Welcome back to News Radio 590 KLBJ AM and FM 99.7 FM and everywhere at newsradioklbj.com. Let's give them some business. The Austin City Council is meeting this week to hash out the details of a proposed $5.9 billion budget for next year. The bulk of that money spent on public safety. Departments like Homeless Strategy Office would see just over $30 million. And Homeless Strategy Officer David Gray says they'll need to invest heavily in a new temporary shelter for beds.
A shelter that we would keep open in perpetuity, unlike Marshland Yard, which is a temporary shelter.
He says there's also a gap of more than $2 million in the permanent supportive housing under construction, and it would be needed to serve the pledge, living those in the facilities. The council will meet over the next few months, next few weeks, that is, before taking a final vote on the budget next month. And with more on your money, here's reporter Jessica Ettinger.
Wall Street opens this morning after stocks plunged yesterday. The S&P 500 index and the NASDAQ had their worst days since December of 2022. Investors disappointed with tech earnings. The Dow fell 500 points. The NASDAQ down 650 yesterday.
This is really kind of normal, believe it or not. Mid-July is when the market traditionally has a tough time. The summer roughness all the way through October, so it's sort of on cue.
CNBC's Bob Pisani. Ford shares fell in after-hours trading last night on disappointing quarterly results, but shares of Chipotle and IBM were each higher after hours on quarterly results. Tesla tanked 12% yesterday on disappointing results. Its profit plunged 45%. Some investors are worried that CEO Elon Musk's public statements about things other than his businesses have tainted the brand.
You have to wonder whether his political tilt is impacting in some way. Sometimes I do wonder on the sales front.
CNBC's David Faber. Mortgage demand at a 5-month low now. Rates still seen as high in the 6.8% range for a 30-year fixed home loan. Sales of newly built homes came in below expectations for last month.
In June, we saw the average rate on the 30-year fix over 7% for the entire month. So it was a miss, but it's not completely unexpected that you would see that as buyers pull back due to affordability. I'm hearing from various analysts that people may be waiting until the fall to see if mortgage rates come down. To get buyers in the door, you have to see a 5 handle on the 30-year fix. We don't have that yet.
CNBC's Diana Olick.
Most of us have heard that profits at restaurants are down. Numbers that can be measured with the French fry indicator.
Yeah, the French fry indicator is Lamb Weston, a company that makes French fries. It had a disappointing quarter, said the restaurant business overall is slowing. Lamb Weston lost a quarter of its value on Wednesday, and that set a bunch of restaurant stocks lower.
Lamb Weston is really everybody. It's a great measurement. All restaurants, no matter if it's the high-end steakhouses or a Rainforest Cafe and a Bubba Gump, we all use French fries. And if they're down, the restaurant business is down. And what happened is exactly true. And the consumer was strong for so long, but we're just feeling it everywhere now.
Landry's CEO, Tillman Fertitta on CNBC. Landry's is also the parent of a number of steakhouse chains.
Having Mastro's, Martin's, Del Frisco's, Catch, Palm, the Strip House, that's the steak effect. We're feeling the steak effect right now, that people don't want to go out and spend $70, $80, $90 for a piece of meat.
On today's watch list, we get GDP numbers, durable goods orders. We find out how many people applied for unemployment benefits last week. Earnings are coming today from American Airlines and Southwest.
That is Jessica Ettinger reporting. The state of Texas lawmakers are set to once again take up the tricky topic of banning foreign ownership of property. In an interim hearing this week focused specifically on Chinese firms looking to gobble up farmland in Texas, Christopher Holton with the Center for Security Policy.
It is because of China's position as a rogue nation that it is so important that they not control any portion of our food security or have easy access to conduct surveillance and reconnaissance of our military installations.
Holton says over the last decade, Chinese ownership of U.S. farmland has skyrocketed to just more than $2 billion, and that includes a wide swath of Texas. 3 years ago, state lawmakers passed the Lone Star Infrastructure Protection Act, which bans business deals that give Chinese firms access to critical infrastructure. You may not know you've been paying for it, but on every phone bill, there is something called a universal service fee. But newsman LP Phillips says there's a chance that charge could be going away soon.
The Fifth Circuit calls the fee a tax that was imposed by a private company hired by the Federal Communications Commission, and as such, it's unconstitutional. This is a case of third time is a charm. The group that challenged the fee has lost in 2 other federal appeals courts. Now, UNT Dallas law professor Brian Owsley expects the matter to be decided by the U.S. Supreme Court.
The Fifth Circuit has sort of disagreed with both the Sixth Circuit and 11th Circuit. I think this is what would be a classic circuit split, which is one of the things I think that the Supreme Court sort of generally should weigh in and sort of sort out.
Owsley would not be surprised if the ruling is stayed until the High Court decides, meaning that fee probably won't be going away soon.
That is newsman LP Phillips reporting. The Bitcoin conference, it kicks off the day. Is expected to bring a lot of political heavyweights.
The largest cryptocurrency could get a boost as the Bitcoin 2024 conference kicks off in Nashville. Celebrities, high-powered business executives, and politicians will flood the event. Former President Donald Trump, who in recent months has tried to position himself as an ally of the crypto industry, is headlining the event with a speech scheduled for Saturday night. He'll also host a campaign fundraiser on the sidelines of the conference. Featured speakers throughout the event besides the former president include Robert F. Kennedy Jr., Russell Brand, Edward Snowden, Donald Trump Jr., and Senator Marsha Blackburn, among others. Hillary Barsky, Fox News.
The Todd and Oz Show.